Hi, I'm Cameron, and I don't just read comics, I love them. But today, I'm not the only one. On today's episode of Cameron Reads Comics, I'm talking to my favorite comic book YouTuber, Mint Collectibles. I've been following Mint for years, and I love his content. He has taught me how to flip comics, what books to get graded, and what an awesome collection looks like. He started his YouTube channel just 3 years ago, and he has made an industry-wide impact. He's definitely one of my major influences in content creation, so having him on the podcast was a very big deal. This interview was a short one, but when it comes to quality, we packed a lot of info in these 30 minutes, so stay tuned and enjoy. Remember to go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Cameron Reads Comics, and please, please, please leave me a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Now, here is your interview with Mint Collectibles. All right. Well, hello, Mint Collectibles, and welcome to the Cameron Reads Comics podcast. So glad to have you.
Yeah, man, for sure. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here. Talk some comics.
Yes, talk some comics, talk some YouTube. Sure. Just so my listeners know, and they're probably your listeners too, for that matter, you are absolutely 100% my favorite YouTuber, and wow. I've been following you since the beginning because you on your Instagram would post the utmost grails of comic glory. So how did that start out for you? How did you make that transition from Instagram collecting grails to, wow, maybe I should start a YouTube channel?
Yeah, wow. So you have been around for a while. So
seriously, I remember I almost unfollowed you because all you do is the raffles.
And I used to do it so much, and I noticed that some people weren't into it. So then I ended up doing it on a different page, and then I just ended up not doing it at all anymore. But I've always been the type of collector that I'll go really hard in something, and then I'll kind of get bored of it, and then move on to the next thing. My wife always says, I can't believe you've been sticking with the omnibus and the statue thing for this long, because she's used to me kind of losing interest and everything. But yeah, man, after getting back into comics as an adult, after getting into single issues and buying raw keys and hunting keys in the wild and slabbing them, I started selling in order to afford the big keys. So maybe that's around the time you're talking about, because at one time I had a pretty big collection of keys. I had them all over my wall. We bought shelf racks from Home Depot, and we had them all over the walls. And I was collecting a lot of Spider-Man villain first appearances and the key issues. And I was like, man, if I'm collecting all these Spider-Man keys, I got to go for the first appearance of Spider-Man. What if I sold all of my comics, all my keys, and just bought the AF-15? These books were easy enough to come by. If I just sold these all, got the AF-15, I'll just start over. And that's what I did. And then that kind of morphed into getting an X-Men 1 and a Fantastic Four 1 and all those other books.
Yeah, and honestly, the way, because the thing I appreciate about your perspective to YouTube is that what you do is you talk about how you got there. It's not one day, because social media and everything else can just make it seem okay, well, I just bought an FF #1 because I wanted to. No, it's right. You started with with the Marvel trading cards, and then you did the Spawn collection, and then from there it's wow. And so you actually inspired me. That's how I have gotten some of my slaps, because it's really been this year where I kind of really hunkered down, obviously, and then I was well, I got all these boxes of comics sitting here. I've read them, I've enjoyed them. Now I'm whoa, I really want a Saga #1. So let me start selling those, flipping those, so I can get what I really want, which is a quality collection over a quantity collection.
Exactly. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Spawn collection, so I could tell you're legit, because
oh man, I'm what is it? What's in the box videos are my absolute favorite.
Yeah, those are one of my most favorites to record. The Spawn collection is funny because yeah, I wasn't I'm not from a rich family. I didn't have this, awesome paying job where I could just buy an FF1 or save up and buy it. like at one point I put together a complete run of Spawn. It was like issue 1 through I think like 242 plus all the tie-ins, and I put it together here and there, buying little lots off eBay, hunting locally, and then I ended up selling that entire lot on an auction on eBay, and I think it ended for like 1,100, which I don't think I ever had $1,000 in my hand at one time. At that time, that was like the first big sale that I did, and I immediately bought on eBay a Hulk 181. I think it was like a 4.0, and I think it was like $650. So this is like 2014, 2015. And that was like one of the first big key issues that I bought. And it was from flipping a run that I put together.
Yeah, and it's cool to see because like you follow it, and then like the way you display it too, especially your background right now. Is this the man cave, but it's like the Gen cave, and it's the way you displayed originally your statues with the slabs. It's like, oh my gosh, that's all anyone could ever want, right? And so it's super cool to see how far it's come. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Now, when I was like kind of like doing some more research, because obviously I'm a fan and I know some of the other stuff, but like when I realized kind of like the tone and your approach to fandom on your channel has been really like, I think that's one of the things that keeps drawing me back is there's not really any gatekeeping. And in your about on YouTube, it says that you're here to celebrate a hobby. And I always see that, like you can see that coming in all your videos. And so my question is, where do you think that posture like came from?
I think that's just my personality. Naturally, I've always been a positive, optimistic person. I always look at the glass half full, and I'm not into a hobby to hate and rant and complain. Like if I felt that way about it, I wouldn't be in the hobby anymore. Right. So yeah, sure. There's a lot of stuff that I see that I don't like. That's not for me, that I don't partake in. But for the most part, you know, I love these characters. I love the stories. There's still such a wealth of stories out there I haven't read. And, you know, I'm just into it, man. Like, I don't know. You know, I do a weekly comic book day review, and I say right away, hey, this was whack, this sucked. Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily mean the whole run was whack, but yeah, this issue was lame. Yeah. I'm going to drop it if it sucks next week too. Like, you know, there's, you know, it's not everything is bubbles and flowers, but, you know, for the most part, I enjoy it, the hobby, and I enjoy, you know, talking about it every single day.
Yeah, my favorite one I think you did was, because I feel like your school of comics is a little your approach is a little different than mine, and just like kind of what you were growing up with. Like you're very much an X-Men guy, a Venom guy. I'm like, that's not quite my jam. I actually just hopped on this Hickman run, so House of X, House of 10 been great. But I kind of really expected you to like that new Deadpool run by Kelly Thompson. It's like the Deadpool #1, and you were not about it.
I hated it, man. I hated the whole King of the Monsters thing. I really don't like Deadpool post Rob Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza. I mean, I didn't even like the Joe Kelly run, which is like a fan favorite run. I liked mercenary Deadpool, you know, like teleport in, kill somebody, crack jokes, and leave. And when he got too slapstick, I kind of lost interest. So, yeah, I'm not really a fan of like modern Deadpool.
Yeah, no, I think him and like Joker and especially like Harley Quinn, you can just see how like they originally had come out and then how they've changed over time. You know?
I still like Joker, but Harley Quinn suffers from the same type of fate too. She kind of got like typecast into this persona that she's stuck in, and I'm not really into it.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
But Joker can still be badass, like Killer Smile, Jeff Lemire on DC Black Label.
Oh, super good,
right? And that's a different take. And then you even have Batman, Joker during Joker War. It's he's pretty serious and pretty brutal. So Joker, I think, maybe because there's such a love for the character, but different artists just put their own spin on him, and some of them like to go super dark with it, and that's what I like.
Yeah. Did you like the Joker War? Now that I have your attention,
it wasn't bad. I didn't dislike it. It was just okay.
Yeah, I'm like the Tinian run. I think it started really strong, and I was like, and then when the Joker War stuff, that I feel like that's a clunky transition from like the first arc to the Joker War stuff. I was like, that's
I think he was better off playing off the designer and punchline thing, and then that kind of just faded away a little bit, and then the Joker War itself was kind of like anticlimactic, and the whole movie theater thing was a good idea, but it just kind of was like boring.
Yeah, absolutely. So also the other thing that really surprises me is like your relationship with your fans. So you have the Gemini Facebook group, you do gem crates, you do giveaways. Obviously, again, I wrote what's in the box videos. Yeah. How important do you think that fan relationships have played into like your success?
Man, I mean, I guess, not to be cliche, but you owe it all to the people who watch. Without them, it wouldn't be the same. And I feel like they helped me grow. So I like to not give back. I don't want to sound like I'm bigger or better than what I am.
You're good.
But definitely, like, my wife was into the gem crates. She was like, let's do, this loot crate type of thing. And I'll put we used to buy this stuff and put the boxes together, but now it's based like pretty much solely off donations, or like publishers will send us books and we'll give those away, or even like runs. When I'm done with a run, I don't really collect single issues, so I'll give them away or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Facebook group too, that was one thing I didn't even really want to start, because there's a lot of other big Facebook groups that I'm in,
Really?
and I was like, I don't want to make another group, but someone talked me into it, and it actually became a really cool place. And it's funny because I feel like the Facebook group is mostly like my omnibus collectors and collected edition readers, but the channel is so heavy for statues. People really love the statue reviews.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know. I always just look at it. What would I want if I was a fan of a channel? I would want daily content. I would want giveaways. I would want participation. So I guess that's kind of just how I approach it.
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, how many days a week do you spend like making content? Is it 7 days a week? Because I'm like, damn, bro, that's crazy. Good for you.
Every day. I mean, there might be some days where I try to I always have a video every day, right? So I always try to have like a cache of videos on deck. So sometimes I would stack up to like 12 videos that are sitting on unlisted, ready to drop. But I kind of got away from that, because then sometimes videos keep getting bumped because of time sensitive videos, and then by the time I'm ready to drop, there's some that have never come out because I'm like, this is kind of stale already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I might like not record a video one day because I know I already have something for the next day, but like today, for example, I don't have anything ready for tomorrow. I just finished reading all the new comic books for this week. So after this, I'm going to film the weekly review. I'll drop that for tomorrow, and then tomorrow I got to record something for the next day. So that's kind of how I've been doing it.
Has it gotten at least easier since you just started? Because I think about, the first couple of videos and like the Spider-Man 2099 unboxing, and like how there's no editing. Has it gotten easier?
So it takes more time now, because I take the time to edit it. Mm-hmm. Now I recently just got a brand new mic that I have to do the audio track separate from the video track, and it's like, it is taking longer to edit. I'm getting B-roll footage and rotating on the turntable and then trying to edit that in. But I think it's worth it. I've always been the type that I want the quality to improve. Like, if you look at my first videos, it's been a progression, man. Getting lights, getting a mic, getting a better camera, getting a laptop to edit with, learning how to edit better, and learning tricks. And I do everything myself, so it's a big, trial and error kind of thing. Yeah,
the other thing that you always mention, too, about, like, how you got to where you are is just, like, the hustle. Like, and I really respect that, because it's like, oh, man, like, if comics are going to increase, if I'm going to buy the omnis that are coming out weekly or whatever, monthly, then I better get a side hustle to, you might have seen this, but I was the guy in the Geminites group that posted about the glasses and the stickers. That's like, literally, I got a box of cups that my sister gave me. This is my omnibus hustle, where I peel these stickers off these glasses.
I didn't catch that post.
I posted that. The cool thing about the Geminites Facebook group that I implore all of the listeners to go on is that I feel like you guys obviously are, overseeing the whole thing, but the fans really keep it going.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
The questions that come through, I'm like, ooh, what is the definitive Batman take?
Well, you know what it is? Because we don't really play that shit where people like make fun of somebody for asking us a noob question.
Yeah.
Or like Fee, my wife, she'll go in, like she'll boot somebody out if you give like an asshole response, because we want it to be a place where you can learn and where you can share and things like that. So thankfully we do have a lot of good people, and we weeded out a lot of bad people. It's not one of those groups, even though it's kind of semi-big, it's like 5,000 members. Everyone is weeded out through like a question process to make sure they're not just joining willy-nilly. And then we're pretty on top of moderating everything. Like we don't allow politics in the group. We want everybody to be here to enjoy comics. We don't care if you voted for Biden or Trump. Like that doesn't matter. Did you read Spider-Man or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Seriously, and I think that really came to fruition when you kind of approached interviewing Ethan Van Sciver, and we don't need to get too far either way into that, but it's like, I really liked your take on it, where it's like, hey, if you're not, because I watched probably the first half of that video, but he's like, you said if you're not going to do that, then you're cutting off half your audience. You know what I mean? If you're taking a stance, then you're cutting on half your audience.
That's crazy, and that's crazy to me. And I always look at Michael Jordan said that too. When Michael Jordan didn't like back a Democrat or something back in the day, he was like, Republicans buy Jordans too. But I've always been of that mindset. I look at it like a business, and I just think as a business, you know, we're here to get views. We're here to sell merch. Like, we're not here to push our political views and alienate half the population. That just is insane to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I respect how you, like, I don't know, being so new, because it's like, I think you've had your channel for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, being, I guess, still so fresh to the content creation game. Obviously, I totally respect and receive everything you're doing, but navigating that must be like, it's kind of critical, but you're doing a great job. And so it's like, it's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, one thing could get you canceled, right? But
yeah,
I kind of think that I'm uncancelable because I just keep it real, and I'm smart, man. I'm not like gonna jump out and say some crazy stuff. I respect all people. Yeah. Obviously, I grew up in a melting pot of South Florida, so I have my, like, you know, I have my swag, and obviously I'm respective to all cultures and everything. But with the Ethan thing was funny. I didn't really realize how people hated him because I came from the collected edition community, and everybody rants and raves about Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. It's like one of the best omnibus series out. With Ethan did a lot of the artwork, so I didn't even really know. I mean, I knew that about the Comicsgate thing, but I didn't realize that there was this big level of hatred for anybody associated with him. So I really, when I did the interview with him, first of all, he reached out to me, so I was like, hell yeah, like, this guy is a big artist. I like a lot of his work, and he was crowdfunding his book that it hits 1 million now, but it was like 900,000 at the time, and I wanted to get into crowdfunding, so I was like, oh dang, 2 things I could talk about, and I didn't even realize people that watched me wouldn't like that and unsubscribe from me because of that. You know, so no, it's all good. I was kind of surprised, but it's okay. I mean, the video's still there. I still, stand by it. I interview him just like I interview Donnie Cates. I look at it the same thing.
Oh my gosh, that Donnie Cates, like, that is the dream come true of all of this. Is like when you were, I think it was outside of a con, you were just getting beers with Donnie Cates. I was like, oh my gosh, like, that is the coolest.
And what's funny is that made me late because I was moderating a panel for Power Rangers, and then I moderated his panel after that. So I was right there in the table with Donnie Cates talking to an audience right after that, and I was pretty drunk, so it was kind of fun, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, and it's cool, like, to see, because how you've kind of used your network, and like, this is, frankly, between you and I, this is a networking opportunity I consider like one of those, because it's like to be able to have, obviously, people, and that's why and maybe with you too, that's why I started a platform, is because me wanting to just talk with Donnie Cates in general, it's like, wow, that's kind of weird, but like, hey, will you be on my podcast? And I can just ask you the questions that I've always wanted to ask you.
Hey, this is networking for me. You might have 10 best friends that don't really know me, and now they like, oh, Jem's all right, and then they they come check me out.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
And they always, my man, there's always an invitation for you available here on the Cameron Reads Comics podcast. So, but it's cool, and so it's cool to see. It's like, because you've had Chip Zdarsky on, which is like the coolest, and you showed me he that's not his real name. So I was like, what?
His name is Steve, like me.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. And then him joking around, teaming up with Matt Fraction for like both of them, like, not their real names, just like pseudonyms. I'm like, that's so funny.
The way that came up is that he posted on Twitter, like, if you donate $200 to this Canadian comic fund, I'll do your podcast. So in my mind, see, I always had that kind of hustler's mentality too. I was like, man, I got money from the channel coming in. I'm always wheeling and dealing. I was like, 200, I'll donate to a good cause to get him on. So I paid for that interview, but I think it was worth it because it's history on the channel now. And now he's going to write Batman. He's a big writer now, man.
Oh my gosh, that Batman announcement, like, I'm so hyped about that.
I like his independent, his Stillwater, and he likes it. I'll share his stuff on Twitter. He'll give me a little like every now and then.
Have you seen, do you ever read his newsletter? I think that is one of the best ones.
No, I don't read the newsletter.
Oh, he's so funny. Cool. Okay. So how long have you been buying, selling and like speculating in the comic book marketplace? How long would you like say you've been doing that?
Well, I guess I started doing that around 2014, 2015. And I got really, into key issues. I studied the CGC forums for months, and like I learned a lot from them. the raffle thing, you mentioned, that was kind of like a unique way that I kind of pioneered on Instagram to sell books. And that was a big help to get the collection going. I don't do anything now. I don't buy comics now. I don't spec on books anymore, but I do keep in the know, especially doing the top 10 video with Comic Tom that we do weekly on his channel. So I know, and plus knowing how the game works, I know as soon as these announcements come out, I already know what books are going to take off. And
yeah, like, oh my gosh, the Disney Day, it's crazy.
Exactly. Or even like during Comic-Con when they finally announced Moon Knight, I'm like, all right, Werewolf by Night 32 is going to spike right now, even though it's been spec'd on for years, but this is the official announcement.
Because I'll pull from my comic shop's back issue bin because they have pretty good ones, and I looked at I found, what is it, Invincible Iron Man #1, but it's the first Riri Williams as Iron Man.
Oh,
and
that
so
one,
it's
yeah.
It's just like one that slept on. It's like you would know, like if you.
Yeah, but that probably took a bump right now with her Ironheart show announcement.
I had it listed for $9.99, and that day I was like, it was out the door, and I was like, shoot, I should have listed it for higher.
It's sad on that, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm like, $10.
I think her first app's the big key for that, though.
Yeah, seriously, it's a big deal. So, going into your favorite title on your pull list, what is it? What are you reading monthly, and then what's your favorite one?
Man, I really try to read everything monthly unless I don't like it and then I drop it. So I like to give everything a shot. Like I'm probably going to pick up all these future state DC books unless it's something I know is just not going to be for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I look forward to reading Thor. I like Donny Cates' Thor a lot.
It's so good. Oh my gosh.
Good. Like really, really good. And then I like his Venom. I always read those first. I like to read Stillwater, which is kind of new, Department of Truth. By James Tynion on Image. Then I like Something Is Killing the Children. I lean towards independent titles more, but I love superheroes. So it's kind of like,
yeah,
I like the superheroes characters more, but I like the indie stories better.
Yeah, for sure. It's like because on this show I'll get people who've never read a comic before, which are a lot of my friends. Just you've never read something. I need a guest. It's weekly, so come on and here's your first comic. And a lot of them I'll give them as indies because I don't need to go over, however many years of continuity with them. And It's been really good. So, I think I've been reading a bunch of the Ed Brubaker criminal stuff because that's just like one and done. And then I have a friend that I've been giving a lot of Brian K. Vaughan to because he's just like, it's like, this is the first time you meet him. This is what you go through. And it's super cool, super good. So I totally agree.
Ryan did what? Saga and Why the Last Man?
Saga, Why the Last Man, Ex Machina, The Private Eye. I pretty much anything he writes, I'm going to pick up.
I haven't read the Ex Machina yet. It's such a daunting omnibus to pick up.
It is, and frankly, like, it's not my favorite one. But it's good. It's like, I don't know if you like The West Wing. It's very much West Wing meets superheroes.
I haven't watched. I think I've seen trailers for West Wing.
Yeah, it's just his take on political drama, which is like cool. But if anything, the reason to pick that up is Tony Harris's artwork. So I don't know if you read Starman, but the guy who did the covers for Starman. Man,
I've been meaning to read Starman because I still have those like hardcover books. I've been meaning to read it, and actually, I was just reading what Starman was in. What did I read today that he was in? Oh, Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earths. They had Starman. Really? That's what made me think about it just earlier. I was like, dang, I need to read those Starman books.
Yeah, those are so like I'm gonna I think there's a new compendium coming out of those.
I heard there was something coming out for that. Yeah,
there's been an omnibus slated for that series for a long time.
But I think it got canceled or delayed or something, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what omnibus release are you looking forward to the most, or maybe it's already come out?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually the New Mutants one that I just ordered it today, so that's cool. I'm looking forward to them continuing Uncanny X-Men, so Volume 4 is coming out soon. I'm looking forward to Inferno, especially because I sold my 3 hardcovers, and I lucked out, and they made an omnibus for it. So, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. This has been a big year for reprints that I've already owned, so it wasn't really too of an exciting year for me. But there's still cool stuff coming out.
Yeah, you posted. I was like looking at just the feed and what you've ever come out with, and you did Omnibus Whales a long time ago, and now it's like when you rewatch that video, it's like, oh, Infinite Crisis is already published.
None of them are whales anymore.
Yeah, Silver Surfer's been republished.
Thor by Walter Simonson is not a whale. Punisher by Garth Ennis.
Yeah, and it's so funny too when you think about the X-Men by Stanley and Kirby still has been republished. I'm like, what?
I think they're sitting on that more towards X-Men movies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, what the heck,
That's
man?
gonna sell like crazy, yo.
Yeah. Is there a movie for 2021 slated that you're most looking forward to?
Is Doctor Strange 2021?
I don't know. I think it's 2022 in March.
That's the one from Phase 4 that I'm looking forward to the most. I'm looking forward to what they do with the Eternals as well. I think that's going to be a surprise hit. I think they're going to
Yeah.
introduce Celestials and Galactus and cosmic stuff that we haven't even touched on yet, and I think that's going to be like underground hit, man.
Yeah. I'm a little sad because I'm a DC guy. So I'm like, how come the freaking Marvel version of the Fourth World is coming out like before the DC version, even though the DC one's been announced forever ago? It's like, come on, guys, just get it together.
Yeah, they can't get it together. That's it, man.
Yeah, man. Okay, well, I only got a few more questions for you. Okay, so what was your biggest challenge in going into YouTube, you think? Was it like learning to edit, or was it just like taking time to do the videos?
Well, I'll tell you what, like the biggest challenge was when I first started this channel, it was actually, if you look at my channel, it says it originated September 11th, 2015. So back when I was doing those keys, I dropped like a room tour video, and I was like, I wanted to start a YouTube channel back then, and it was Mint Collectibles and all that. This was 5 years ago.
Oh,
And it didn't really do anything. I think it got like 700 views or whatever. And I couldn't really think of what to do for another video. So that video kind of just sat there for a while, and then I deleted it. And then I didn't come back to the channel until years later, after I had started collecting Omnis and started just kind of was new collecting statues. And I was watching other channels, people that covered omnibus content, people that did statue reviews. And I was like, dang, what if I did a channel that was kind of like a mixture of both?
yeah.
But I want to have content every single day, because at the time I had like a 3-hour commute, Palm Beach to Miami, and
Was
I
that
would
like
watch
daily?
YouTube daily. Yeah,
Oh
hour and a
my
half there,
goodness.
hour and a half back on a good
Bless your
day.
soul. Yeah.
And I did that for a year and a half, from like 2015 to 2016 ish.
It's wild.
So I would hype myself up. I would be like, yo, man, I'm gonna start this channel. I'm gonna do the background kind of like this, but I'm gonna do it like that, and I'm gonna do it this way and that way. And then I got an opportunity to relocate to where I live now, and so I put the channel idea on hold. And then when I finally relocated, I was living out here for like 4 months out of an apartment that the company was paying for. So I was like saving up money. I was looking for a house, and I was looking for a house specifically with a space that I could do this in,
Wow.
specifically to do a channel, because I knew what I was going to do. So once that happened, the challenge was initially I didn't have the content. When I started the channel for the second time, I already had the stuff you see behind me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, okay, all I got to do is haul videos. Then I have the collection, so I'll read books and review them. I can do like every Spider-Man omnibus video checklist, statue reviews, and I have new ones. So that, it morphed into what it is now. I mean, it's always really been the same channel if you think about it, as far as the content that comes out.
Seriously.
Right? If you go to my first channels, it's like top 10 lists, omnibus hauls, reviews, statue unboxing.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel as you keep collecting, it's like the content keeps coming in. You know what I mean? Because it's not really a spoiler. I got my boss, like, for example, I don't know if you're into Czarface, like the rapper.
No, I haven't heard of him.
Oh, it's like Wu-Tang or whatever. But like, because I think I'm gonna branch into YouTube. This is really why I ask you a lot of stuff, because I'm like,
yeah, I figured.
I got my boss Super 7, which is a little toy company that they make custom toys, and so there's this. You should really check this dude out. It's esoteric. It's 7L and Inspect a Deck from Wu-Tang Clan, and they pretty much rap about comics. And it's
okay.
But it's not like, it's not cheesy or lame. It's like they come and hit you hard. And so I got him and my boss and I Czarface action figures, and so I'm like, ooh, that could be a potential video.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think everybody has a hobby, something that they're into, something that they know a lot about. I think really anybody can make a YouTube channel just based off of one of those things. Now, can it sustain continuous content? I think that's the biggest challenge with YouTube. You got to be consistent, whether you're doing it once a week, or once, every single day. So I think you kind of got to plan out what you're going to do to be able to consistently release videos, because that's the only way that they're going to gain traction.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. And so, was there ever a time in your I guess decisiveness that you realized, like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I have to double down and just start making daily content?
Yeah, but that was my goal. Like I wanted to do that not because of the YouTube algorithm. Like I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to provide what I wanted from other channels as a fan because I figured if that's what I want out of a channel, other people would want that as well. So in the beginning, Fee, my wife, she was like, "You don't got to do a video every single day." And I was like, "Nah, I got to drop something every single day, no matter what, because that's what the people who are subscribed want to see." And we stick to that to this day.
Yeah, no, it's been very, very cool to watch because it's like I think I think also what the content you're making too, it isn't like it isn't dated. You know what I mean?
Right.
At all. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, people are still going to be getting pull lists, and when they're going to want to be reading whatever Thor #9, where Donald Blake returns and Donny
Yeah.
Cates' run, and they're like, oh wow, like what was it like when Jem first found out about it? And so you have that weekly pull list video, and so
Hmm.
I just think that I've seen that in your content. And I'm like, maybe I'm just considering, you know, what the possibilities are, and so I guess my last question for you is, what are you looking forward to, or like any new and exciting things going to come up for the channel?
Man, I'm really excited to get these Sentinel dioramas from Iron Studios.
Oh, were those the ones that you showed, like the huge ones with all
Yeah.
the X-Men? Oh my gosh,
I'm
those are gonna be
really
crazy.
excited to get those three, man. I'm considering actually selling all the X-Men pieces I have now, which are all quarter scale pieces.
Those are huge, yeah.
Yeah, and having just the three Sentinel dioramas kind of like as like not a centerpiece. I guess you could say a centerpiece. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited that we're about to hit 100,000 subscribers like
Dude, congratulations,
in 2
that's
days.
awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, by the time anyone hears this, we're gonna be there,
Yeah.
so I'm crazy looking forward to the silver play button, the blue check mark. Like I'm looking
Okay.
forward to that, man. Like it's almost like I'm trying not to even think of it. You know how like
Yeah.
you try not to think of a vacation or like
Yeah.
Christmas as a kid because you just want it to come already and you don't want to even like bog down your mind about it. But
Yeah.
coming, man.
So I guess your Christmas present's going to be that plaque you're going to get. Are you going to throw that in the back behind you at all?
Yeah, I think I got to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on the Cameron Reads Comics podcast.
For
Um,
sure.
for all my fans, go check out Mint Collectibles on YouTube. Go join the Geminites Facebook group. Go check them out on Twitter and Instagram. All the content is so good there, and I can guarantee because I follow that content. So, and then feel free to go follow Cameron Reads Comics on Instagram, Twitter, and go leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. So thank you so much, Jem, for coming on the channel. As always, there's an invitation for you here. Hopefully one day we can meet at a convention.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Thanks for having me for sure, man. I appreciate it. I enjoy talking with you. And
Yeah,
everyone
man.
out there, stay minty fresh.
Yeah, stay minty fresh, guys. Have a good one, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye.